All right, so Kim, welcome to this studio that I have haphazardly put together.
Beautiful. I like it.
Yeah.
You might be
Dylan
missing
and
a few
I,
things.
Dylan's back there. Dylan and I have been working on this for about a year now. Dylan?
Yeah, roughly like a year and a half.
Yeah, something like that. Little by little, we change our, always improving the fighting position type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I need to throw a couple of forged pieces in there somewhere.
Yes, somewhere.
We'll work on it.
Well, I've got, I've had this on your fighter. This is your breed fighter. I've had this on here somewhere in the display the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because of the color. I really like that color a lot. That's pretty nice.
They call it OD green, but when you order it, sometimes it comes in like 4 different shades.
Right.
But they call it OD green anyways.
This matches the Green Dragon for our rifles.
Yep.
Almost identical. So we tell them, hey, if you want to buy it, it's fine. It's a set because it matches the rifle that I have on display also, which, I can't sell the rifle on display because that would be illegal. But
correct.
But
we can build you one.
We can build it that and the same knife, similar knife, same color. Do you color this or does
comes like that?
Comes like this right here.
Green G10.
Yeah, so
OD green.
So smooth. We were just in Camden 2 weekends ago at a little at that special operations equipment place.
The equipment place, yeah.
Right? Party, whatever they call it, and we were talking about your knives during our show there too, and talked about this one in particular because we had it on display also, and a lot of folks asked about this knife right here.
And Chris, you are right. I like that one so much that I have it on my.
It's like that right there. Yes, this is my favorite knife. It is.
I have it on there. And it is called the Breed Fighter.
The Breed Fighter. That's right. Folks were a lot of folks were asking where they find it. I was like, well, you can go to his Instagram page.
That's it.
Or if somebody else is selling it, go to their page. We saw some people had them.
Yeah, they had different versions of it. A lot of resale on the secondary market.
Right.
Command, of course. It's cheaper if you get them from me than what it is usually on secondary market. But there's 3 or 4 people out there that will carry. They'll buy 4 or 5 knives and then they resell them.
Right.
So, but yeah, that one started off, God, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked a deal with Spartan Blades, and they carried that for 3 years, longer version.
Right.
And
I like this size right here.
Then they discontinued it, and then about the time they did that, I was getting feedback from the guys overseas, because I think Afghanistan, and we still had a bunch of guys there. And trouble is that...
And now the Taliban have your knives?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But it was so good, because it was so long that when you'd sit down with your gear on, it was getting them in a short rib.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was going right underneath their right underneath the armor. So, and that was a no-go. So they all had them on them, outside.
Right. So right off the bat, and we'll do it again later too, you are a Breed 1911?
Kim Breed, 1911.
Kim Breed 1911 on Instagram.
Yep.
To find him making all his knives. Now, I saw a knife. Remember when we were at the, what's that bar we were at doing a TR episode? What's that bar called?
Leatherwood
Distillery. That's right. And you had this knife you were selling a guy in Texas had bought. You were talking to you brought it with you. And what knife was that? You remember? It was really some expensive ass knife that you had just finished. It was like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice, and I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, they you got to figure they range. Usually, I try to keep between $200 to $400 is my market, but I can go up higher. I brought examples of fancy knives that you can get, and then regular that's just what we call slab knife. I cut it out of bar stock steel, and then I go through and drill the holes, heat treat, and so on and so forth. But they hold up great.
This is the this is the knife they bought us at A15 that we put on our kit, because this is what we had. These Claibornes, and we had to put these on our kit because if you had them on our side, it would go up under the armor.
So everybody know, and that should be who makes that? Olmar,
I think Claiborne. I don't know who the maker is. Can you see that? If you can't eat better
Does
than
that say
me.
Fairbanks
Or
underneath there?
Fairbanks, that's what it is. Fairbanks, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who made them, but I know Almar used to make them similar to this. Yeah, double-edged dagger with the serrations up on top.
I just use it to jimmy open
Open
drawers and
cans.
shit like that.
They work good for throwing because you don't break the handle off.
Or giving somebody the business.
Exactly. But that'll work too.
You made this for me right here.
Kydex.
Yeah, you made that right there for me because I didn't have that with. I had one, but it was for putting down here. I needed one to put behind me, you know.
Yep, slide it behind.
Yep.
And just so you know that if you're watching this and you can get a hold of Byron, or if you can mention this thing, I'll give you 10% off if you order a knife.
Ooh, yeah, just
I always give deals.
what we do here is to ensure they have watched all the way through. At the end, I will give a math equation, and they put the answer. They come back with a DM with the answer, and then
Cool.
then we know they watched it.
Yeah, they're going to watch the whole thing.
So show me what else you got over there.
Okay, we're going to take it kind of like from the beginning.
Sweet.
This is a new model here I just started. Why? I have no idea. I was just doodling on a paper, and it kind of looked kind of cool, so I cut one out. It's just going to be like a Warncliffe, but it's got a wavy blade to it. But that's how the slab handle knives, the stock removal knives, that's how they start out.
And this, I guess, is making it
It's
considerably lighter.
skeletonized handle.
Yeah,
It makes it a lot lighter. And then I still got to grind the edge. Like I said, I just did that an hour ago.
Oh, right, right before you came here.
Right before I came here. And this is the one I know you said something about you wanted me to bring.
Yes. This one was the one. I think I called you like 3 days ago about this one right
Yeah,
here.
that's a
You had
model-
just posted
model
this on the
50.
grams,
Yep.
and it was was this here black OD black? I
Yeah,
think?
OD green and black
Yeah.
G10.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. And I don't know if you can really see the color on this. Go to your Instagram page, you'll really see the color in this right here.
Yep. You can blow it up, Dan.
Yeah.
But if you want, you can hang this one here with that one, if you think it's a good match for you.
Oh yeah. At the
Yeah. So
When
when
we
you're
go to
doing your
shows.
stuff, you got two of them.
should just come by and grab a knife from me. I don't want to take your only what is this brand, this profile called?
That's Tanto.
Tanto, that's right. I don't want to take your only Tanto knife.
Huh, that's
You'll
fine.
make more. You'll
That's
make
fine.
more, won't you?
If they order it, they got to wait anyways. So,
Yeah. That's right.
You know, when you got running, usually a 30 to 60 day backlog anyways.
Ooh.
And unless it's a guy in active duty or one of the brothers, when you order it, that's when it starts. Then
Right.
you gotta wait till your name comes up. So I always tell everybody, I'll put you on the list. When I'm
Right.
ready to start, I call. You still want it? If you still want it, then I start on it.
Right.
But your name's
Okay, I
got
got
to come
it. So,
up.
so when your name comes up, you're like, oh, I need to call this guy, see if he still wants it. And I got it now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Unless
pretty
it's
easy.
a normal pattern, I'll actually grind the blade. I'll get everything done before I put the handles on it. If it's something off the wall, then I call them up and say, hey, do you still want it? If not, I'll just make it and say, do you want it? No, fine. Then I put it for sale.
Yeah. Okay. And
Just roll with it.
too easy.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 60 days from the time they order the first one.
As
or order it.
a norm, yeah, about 60
set
days,
this right here.
somewhere's around there. Normally, I can get them out faster than that because if I get 2 or 3 orders, I'll batch them together.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just knock them out, put a little assembly line together in my shop. So left hand's doing this, right hand's doing this, and I don't know what I get in the middle,
I was
but it
sitting there
works.
wondering, an assembly line. You're the only guy in there, too.
It's a short assembly line, but it is an assembly line. And this one, I finally managed to save one of my deer hunting knives.
Oh, right.
That's
For skinning purposes?
That's my Max Hunter.
Wow, look at the handle on this. What's this wood?
That's a black and white G10. Red liners, carbon steel blade, 80 CRV2, and I blued it. And that's been through the big 9-pointer and 2 does.
Is this one on your Instagram page also?
Yes.
Nice.
And I don't
Man,
know
this is so
which,
nice.
Which camera can do the close-ups. Probably none of them.
All of them.
All of
You
them?
know, I can. It'll
I
show
know,
them here.
I know.
That one.
Let me see. See, all you got to do is go like this. And we'll see how good your camera is.
Kim
Can you
hair.
pick this up?
Kim Hare.
Well, anyways, that shows you after 3 deer, it doesn't hurt the edge.
Right. It's still going.
And that's my DNA, and I'm putting it back in my shirt.
You never. I'll use that shit in here somehow on a crime scene. Let me set this one here. There's no sheath with this one.
Oh yeah, of course there is.
All
my knives come
throwing
with
it in a bag
sheath.
like Emery does.
And last year, I finally got off my dead butt and started doing my own leather.
Okay.
Because some people like the leather. Unfortunately, it takes me. It'll take a day or two to do the leather, so you get charged for it. So it's extra $150, $200
Right.
to do the leather.
Wow.
But if you do a fancy knife, it will.
Kydex much faster.
Oh yeah, 15 minutes done. I like it. I like it a lot. And then I finish this, and all these are on my Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a Max Hunter, but it's in Damascus.
Yep.
And stabilized pecan burl wood. Actually comes from a root ball.
So smooth and
that one doesn't
slick.
have a home yet.
No home for this one yet, but
If
you can
not,
definitely see that Damascus in it right there, I believe. Can you see that, Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
If not, it'll see a home in my truck. And of course, as everybody knows, the Damascus it costs more because I got to make the Damascus.
Yeah, right.
So it adds about $100 to $150 for the regular price of the knife.
So if let's go to this knife first. So this knife takes you about how long to make the blade?
The blade, I can have it ground and heat treated in about 4 hours.
How long does it take to make that blade?
I can grind and heat treat it in 4 hours, but then it takes me another 2 hours to make the steel.
Right. To make the Damascus part.
To make the Damascus part.
Yeah.
And that's if everything goes okay. But and I've been doing this since 1990. I've been making knives.
Right.
And it'll still hand my ass to me every now and then. And you're just like, I've done it thousands of times, and it acts all stupid. I'll get a big bad spot right in the middle of the blade.
And you just sit there and close your eyes and.
Oh, you ought to see that wall in the back of my workshop, man. Boy, I take that stuff put a big ding in it.
Right.
I just can remember to aim left to miss the window. And it's frustrating. But it keeps me active. Otherwise, I'll get in an awful lot of trouble.
Right.
So it keeps me busy, Pays me. When I get paid, I put it back into the shop.
Once you're done, let's say you do have a mishap or something happens, can you reuse any of that blade?
Yes, if I can. Once you got a bad spot in it, bad spot's a bad spot. So I'll try to cut it out. And if I can get most of that out, I'll take that and slice it up into smaller pieces. And then I'll put that into a can, and I'll make canned Damascus out of it.
There you go. Got it. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, any little pieces left over and all that stuff, it all goes in the can. Because that comes out Frankenstein Damascus.
Right.
So Damascus, I used to call it. Yeah.
Damascus.
Because it's a mess. It's a mess. You just throw stuff in there and hope it sticks.
What else you got? You got another one over there?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
You said to bring something fancy.
Leather.
So this is leather. This is done by a master leather carver called Mudbone Jones. He's out of Ohio. And he did kind of an alien themed with the tail and dragon skull.
And this is for your knife?
Yeah,
But
this
his
is made
leather?
specifically for that knife.
Oh, that's real nice. That's real nice. See if I can. Can you see that from right here, Dylan? Pretty good?
Yeah.
From the center camera? Not from you.
Yeah, it's all shown.
I don't care if you can see it, Dylan. I just want the cameras to see it.
The
And then,
camera can
well,
see
when
it.
he does them, he's upwards. That's $400 or $500 worth of leather for him to carve it.
Ooh.
And that's a 7-bar twist Damascus dagger with mammoth ivory handles. And that's a long, thin point.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And it is for sale.
Can you see that one?
You just got to want it more than I do.
That's right.
Because I really don't want to grind another one of them. It was pretty bad.
Wow, man, that leather, The leather and the knife really go well together. don't
It
they?
demands the way he does it, and you can see it's got arrows in the copper pins. They're usually just round.
Usually just round, correct.
He files them in the
There's
little
a
arrowheads
little
and all
SF
kinds.
thing there going on.
Just them little things.
And it's hammered too. You see them?
Yep.
Each arrow is got the hammered texture to it. Wow.
He's a master. He's a master when it comes to working leather, man.
What's his name again?
Mudbone Jones, Roger
Bone
Jones.
If you just
Yep.
Google that, I'm sure you'll find him.
He does work for a lot of Junior Behringer. He's out of Montana, and he does a lot of work for him.
Wow. Dude, that's so
That's
fucking
that's
nice.
what he does. He likes his leather, which I can't even get that close. Yeah, that's his stuff is outstanding. I got 7 or 8 sheaths that look like that are set aside on my knives.
We got it.
I got to have the good stuff, you know.
right.
That's the way it goes.
So prior to doing this, I won't say prior to doing this. What folks don't know is you and I were in 5th group together, but you were a generation ahead of me. We'll just call it lack of a better
Or
word,
behind.
or ahead of me, meaning you were in the early 90s, late 80s, early 80s and early 90s.
Early 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
And I got there in 93, so you were a generation ahead of me at 5th
Correct.
group. And then, what battalion were you in?
I was in 2nd Battalion.
2nd Battalion. So you were down there at the Desert Inn area. The Desert Inn being the chow hall that we used to have back then.
Yep, right next to it.
That was a great chow hall. I don't know why I fucked that up.
The boys can do some cooking.
Yeah, they could.
Now I get lost if I go on Fort Campbell. Everything's changed. Everything's so I try not to go on there anymore. But yeah, during that time frame, I mean, we caught it because we got moved here in '88. I spent 80 to 83 was spent with 10th group, up in 2nd Battalion to 10th group. So and then, however, whatever happened, which I will not divulge, I don't know what happened. I got moved to 5th group because I spoke Russian. What am I doing in 5th group? Yeah, and I'm like, I got a 2-1 in it. What? Now I got a 0-0-0.
0-0.
0 minus, 0 minus. Очень хорошо. Right. And so then so I got there to 5th group, and then 88 we moved out here, and 89. I mean, it just kicked shit. Everything went to hell in a handbasket overseas in the Middle East. Because I mean, we were in the Kuwait, got run out of Kuwait, got back into Kuwait. But it was like, God, yeah. I mean, you come back to your company, you know, a year, 18 months later. I didn't know my own company. Guys are looking at me like, you know, when you come back, I'm a team sergeant. You come back in and some kid you don't know is sitting in my chair with his feet up on my desk. Well, how do you think that worked out for him? Not well at all, you know. And it's like, who the hell are you? Get your ass out of my office. You know, what the heck? You know, and it was that constant bam, bam, bam. And you had Somalia kick off right after that, and it just chunka. So even the new guys that came into the battalion, I did. If you were an Alpha company or Charlie or Bravo company, I used to know guys in there, but after that, once we started in, like, let's say after 90, I lost track of everybody. You couldn't keep track of anything.
Well, a lot of folks ask me, you know, did you know so-and-so in group? He was 3rd Battalion or whatever. It's like, to tell you the truth, I was in A15 my entire career, and we're very compartmentalized, especially after they became a SIF. And so we really I didn't know that until they came to the company. You know what I mean? Something like
unless you had them in passing, or if they weren't. A lot of times, if they were in your same company, you didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
I mean, which is, do you know he was in Charlie company, or he was, you know, whatever.
ODAs were even more compartmentalized the way normal SF battalions were, or companies.
Yeah.
But in A15, we were a SIF, so we all work together. You know, we're just two troops and one conglomerate of assaulters / snipers. But as ODAs in a normal company and battalion, you're compartmentalized from everybody. You know, you just worry about your lane.
Yeah, because you couldn't. Most of us, unless you were on Red Cycle, and even that was questionable at the time. Now I heard they did away with it a long time ago. But, you know, you tried to get on Green Cycle, well, they wouldn't have the whole company out at the same time on the range.
Right.
They would just have 18. So by the time you went here and then you went to the heavy weapons, you went to the motor thing, as you're doing this round robin, well, the rest of your company's coming in behind you or in front of you, and so you never get to see nobody. You know, by the time you get back, unless you had, what do they call that stupid shit? Certification.
Oh, SF stakes.
That was afterwards. Yeah. When we started, it was certification.
Yeah, we had to do a certification.
That was
also,
actually started. They started that
stakes.
shit at Bragg, and it's like, what idiot come up with that and wouldn't do it? Mm-hmm. No, you're certified. You got the tab. Well, at the time, you had the flash. You know, you throw on the rucksack and you do it because you had a PT test, swim test, and then 12-mile road march. Mm-hmm. And then they started to add, tried to do the EIB thing. They were
the little stake.
They were trying to stuff that in there, and it's like, you know how long it's been since I tore apart my 1911. Me and Springs don't get along, so I don't.
Were you a Bravo? No, you were Echo.
No, I was an Echo at first, then it was an Echo, then a Charlie, and then a Foxtrot, and then of course X-ray. But you know, when you try to take you back that far, it's like, show me a radio and I'll tell you what to do. But I learned a long time, I don't take apart my guns. Unless it's to clean them, and that's a field cleaning, I don't take apart my guns. That's the only reason why I like a Glock. You know what? I got 4,000, 3,000, 4,000 rounds. I didn't cleaned it like a one.
Yeah.
Squirt a little bit of oil on it, jack in another round.
I was not a fan of camo, to tell you the truth.
No, it sucked.
Yeah, I would just let Pete Chin operate my radio for me. It's like, hey, make my radio do stuff, and then all I got to do is push a button and talk on it, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, back in the day, in the early 80s and stuff, it sucked because you had to wait till the E and the F layer combined to give you the EF layer. I'm talking about the waves up on top. And that always came in at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, yeah, most people think, well, that ain't too bad. Well, it is, especially when I start off. We're in Norway.
Right.
3 o'clock in the morning, I got to go a click away from the camp. It's freaking cold. Man, I'm going to stay in my sleeping bag.
Like everybody else.
Or you get out in the desert, you're supposed to go a click away, and you're like, why? I can see 5 clicks. Why go a click? You know, so you got to set up the antenna. You got to do all that stuff. And then if you're with the Indige, you know, sometimes then they're going, okay, where's that guy going?
Yeah.
So you got the
and they'll want to follow you. And
so
go
they
with you.
want to follow you to, that's mine. It's probably garbage. And they want to follow you to provide security. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't. I seen you shoot. I don't need you for security. Go away. You know, so you got all the Hajis following. We call them Hajis.
Yes,
Your Hajis following you. You know, you're sitting out there like that, and we were in, where were we? I think it was Somalia. So we sit up. My commo guy's making commo, and of course I didn't sleep that much, so I'm kind of up just watching what nods like that. And all of a sudden, if you ever seen the old cartoons where they sing and they had the little ping pong ball?
Yeah. Follow the bouncing ball.
Follow the bouncing ball. Well, I'm looking through nods, and in this trail, all of a sudden I see these heads. And they keep coming, and they keep coming, and I'm like, so we had it, thank God everybody was good to go on the team, and I just tap, 2 taps. That guy'd wake up, come to the high ready, and we just passed it along, and we're all locked in. I got 50 cals, and I mean, it ain't but 100 yards away. And I'm like, God, don't let nobody shoot, because it's going to be bad. And we're watching these guys walk by, and we're like, holy shit. And then I can hear the commo guy back there, and I'm like, oh. And at the time, I think we had the D-Mag.
Yes.
So it still made a little bit, you know, you could hear it through his earphones coming out. And you could hear it. I'm like, man, that's all we need. They walked right in. Didn't know we were even there until we rolled in on them the next morning. That was a whole nother story, but yeah. They didn't see us coming.
Right.
But yeah, it's the commo. I like the Charlie stuff better. I love blowing shit up. That's fun. That's always fun.
Yeah, it always is.
And then 18 Fox, of course, I know you went through O&I. You should have been.
Yeah,
right?
I went through the Enoch O&I course combined.
See, they combined
that was a
it.
long time.
Us was different. Our O&I was fun.
Yeah, ours was not.
Man, we got to, we did wiretap and we did all kinds, all the good old skills that you.
Yeah, we didn't do any of that.
I started off with Mott Lake, started doing it. Because I still got my notes for wiretapping, the eavesdropping, all that other good shit, lockpicking. That's all from Mott Lake. For those of you that don't know, Mart Lake was a compound at Fort Bragg. That's where Blue Light started. And Blue Light turned into Delta, which is now everybody knows who Delta is.
And that's where
And I don't know what the hell Delta is right now.
Range 37 started off at Mott Lake.
Right.
You know, it used to be at Mott Lake, then they moved it to there. So
Then they
all those skills like SOT and all that stuff used to be at Mott Lake.
Yep.
Which is an actual lake on Bragg, but
Just don't swim in it.
and then they moved to Range 37, which is, I forgot what road it's on, but it's
Yeah, I can't.
down there now.
Yeah, down the dirt road. Yeah, that's all I know is down the dirt road someplace. But that's where we learned all the old trade craft. Everybody says, well, yeah, when you go to school, how many rounds do you shoot? You know, they're complaining about shooting 200 rounds a day. 200, we were over 3,000 rounds a day at Mott Lake with a 1911. And that was constant. And then you had your rifle work on top of that. So I have no idea what they're doing nowadays. Now it's SOT. Did they call it SOT? No. What do they call the shoot house now?
Oh, Range 37? It's at Range 37.
Well, I'm saying they sent them to SO.
Sephardic?
It's Sephardic.
Yes,
that's the word I was
that's
looking
what we
for.
went through. That's what the SIPs
Yeah,
went through.
that's the new.
Yeah, I went to
shoot
that
school
in
or something like
90.
that?
No, it started in like 95
Yeah.
or 6, somewhere around in there.
See,
is
because
when
I got
Sephardic
out,
started.
you might as well say 98, late 97, 98 is when I got out. That was,
But my O&I experience was pretty shitty. We were supposed to do an area study, and we were the class where there were some instructors who were a little bit of a extremist, and they had us do our area studies on other topics besides a country. You know, you're supposed to do it on a country. They had us do it on topics, like read this book and give us an assessment of this book and stuff like that. So we did, because we didn't know any better. We had these E7 telling us what we were supposed to be doing.
so you went ahead and did
We
it.
did it, and then after it was done, apparently that information had leaked out that's what we had been doing as opposed to our area assessment. And those guys all got busted, and then we had to turn around and do our area assessments.
Yeah, do it
We
back
still had to
again.
do that, right?
Yep.
And you still have order of battle tests that you have to do and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
With the little graphs and all that, and then photography. Those are the 3 things I remember the most about O&I. There was no cool stuff going on at all. Especially order of battle.
Well, especially when it's combined with ANOC, because like when I went through ANOC, who knows, I can't remember when, but we went there and they said, well, here's your POI, here's the marks you got to make. I'll see you later. I'm going to the GB club.
Yeah.
And we're all standing there going, what the self-start. So we had to do it ourselves. So we had to pick somebody to lead each different thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm just learning to be pissed off right now because he's a dud, he's a dud, he's a dud. I ain't going to like this because my grade depends on him, which I really don't like. That's like selection right now. When they start them off, I can't wrap my head around that. That does not teach you anything. You learn team stuff when you get to a team. Then you know everybody's pulling 100% to the best of their capability. Now in selection, if you go there, you're teamed up with a bunch of 7 or 8 guys when you got to do all the stupid shit. At least from what I've seen on TV, you don't know what they're like. You don't know if he's a slacker. You don't know if he's a stud. And if you be a man
part of the
about
team,
it,
but you're being graded as an individual. And
exactly. And one guy cannot.
One guy can fuck everybody.
Can't do everything, and it ain't like when we were in. Well, yeah, you probably got back. You can't school them outside in the back corner,
Right.
or behind the tree. You can't school them and get them straight because now your ass is in grass, So back in our day, man, if you screwed up, now you got back. You went out back. Sergeant Major dragged you down the stairs, out back. Because I came in, Sergeant Major Sims.
Major Sims. Right.
He was the team sergeant when I came in. Team
Major
sergeant
Sims.
when I was in.
Big old black guy.
Big. His waist was right underneath his chest. Big old legs. But I ended up being his number 1 violator for the mustache and haircut. Yes.
Violators.
I was a violator. But I watched him go from team sergeant all the way up to command sergeant major of 5th group. And because I always put in a paperwork, like I wanted to go to 7th group. 5th group, what do you got? Africa and the Middle East, you can't play unless you get Dubai, which, that ain't going to happen, So everybody wants 7th group because you got South America, you got women and beer. The first group guys had it, but only in the Orient. 5th group,
I wanted 5th group right off the bat. I just, I did. I don't know why.
And that was before. Well, that was before Desert Storm kicked off. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as that kicked off, man, there was guys. They were trying to get out of SWIC. They were trying to get everything, trying to get that CIB.
When the towers fell too. I just happened to, because I was a phase 1 instructor for 3 years out of Camp McCall. And then I came right back to the same team room at A15 and got there a month before the towers fell. I had got back to fifth group, and then they sent me forward to the what we had going on in Desert Spring, Kuwait.
Yeah,
and we were there when the towers fell. Had I waited longer to request to come back, I'd have been stuck in SWIC.
You would have been stuck in SWIC,
for a long period of time.
So you lucked out.
Yeah,
because I remember, because I was already out, and I remember sitting there watching TV because I worked, 12-hour nights at a printing company. I remember getting up coming home, getting up in the morning. I was watching 6 o'clock news, and I thought it was some corny B-rated movie. Where's the jet, Twin Towers, the jet flying? And I said, what the hell kind of movie is this? And it was on the news, and I'm like, what the hell is... You got to be kidding me, right? Now, sure enough, and what's funny is that the teams from 5th group that went, they were still using my POI for going in the country because my name was still on. I guys, man, I seen your name. I know who you are because I had it the last year I was working the skiff.
Right.
So plans and operations and the skiff. So that's where I had to do all the assessments and everything else, and it was still valid. And that was 8 years later, 6 years, 7 years, or whatever it was.
They're not going to have anybody change that. Why? You know what I mean? Just open up that folder that we didn't think we'd ever need.
Old school works every time because we got out and we started working with the X-rays here that were at from 5th group. They got that concrete house. It's concrete buildings that they had. They do sims, the little marking rounds, whatever it is. Well, we had a guy that was doing that. Well, he picked a bunch of us because we all spoke, a little bit of Arabic. So we were singing the songs and, speaking Arabic, going around. And we had the X-rays coming, right? And then so it came time for them to assault us. So it was like 2 guys in a building. And I know stairway coming up, 2 doorways open, fatal funnel. And I just sat back up against the wall with 2 ARs, just waiting for them. And I looked out the window like that, and they're stacking up on the stairs, right tight together. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You never stack up in an open area? Like, you're crazy. So I leaned out the window and started from the guy in the back and come all the way up. I almost got the last quarter they got in the building.
Right.
They get in the building, you hear them clearing downstairs, and they got one of our support guys, they handcuffed him and did whatever. So I started coming up the stairs, that just walking, guns down, walking right into my fatal funnel. I waited to let the first 6 come in and just started. I was eating it up. I had one little nick on my finger, and they were painted with pink all over them. So they called it, stopped it. I had to die, and they had to handcuff me, drag me down the stairs.
Being up for is a lot of fun sometimes, being a role player.
So we get done, and then we have our campfire at the end for the assessment, So we're going to tell them what they did wrong, what they did right. And their leader there, I think it was the E7 young team sergeant, he goes, Jesus, he goes, you killed us in that building. And he said, and the SF guy that was there that was in charge of the aid, he goes, okay, why don't you introduce yourself? I said, retired Master Sergeant Kim Breed, Team Sergeant ODA 561, right? Got out in 97, got in 1980, and they're like, shit, you old schooled us, didn't you? And I'm like, uh-huh. It works every time. So.
Every time.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's like communicate. All the fancy high-speed shit works great as long as it works. Mm-hmm. What happens when it don't work? When you got to teach E7.
You got to revert.
They don't know how to read a map now. And I'm like, my God.
That's true. There's a lot of folks don't know how to read a map.
I'm like, as a special operations soldier, even if you're not taught it, go out and learn it. because that GPS we had the problem. Remember the first GPSs?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that square, weird-looking thing? You had to wait for the satellites to come in.
I remember.
If you had one satellite, still don't know what country you're in. If you had two satellites, it'd tell you what country you're in. You had to wait till 3s.
Then the numbers start coming real slow.
Yeah, they had a little diagonal slashes. And, we did reckon on a map, okay, we got to go about 15 clicks that way. Just take off.
I mean, they worked, but they were very slow.
Now you can get it on your phone. The GPS, you get worldwide GPS and it spot you wherever until the sats don't work.
We, in Iraq in 05, 06, other times too, but particularly this one, the SEALs navigated for us.
Oh,
mostly because, and actually they did an amazing job because they had the technology. We, as a SIF, did not have the technology for the roads and streets in Baghdad.
Yeah, they're first on the list.
Yeah, so they would do the navigation, and they did a pretty good job of navigating. That's about it, though. That's about it. They did a good job of navigating, and a good job of communicating that navigation to us. But they were using, along with the Blue Force tracker that they were using, they were also and Falcon View. Mm-hmm. They were using other GPS. But this is 05, 06. It wasn't like today's phones. It was still in its infancy there, but they were pretty good at it.
Yeah. Which is surprising because, usually, SEALs are supposed to do their water ops. SF, people got to realize we're instructors. We teach other people how to fight. That's our main job.
Yes.
But
I've always said that.
Who do they have door kicking? They want SF guys and SEALs. They want all these. It's not our main job, man. We just got an attitude because we're getting sand packed up our ass, and that's why we fight hard. But it's not our job.
I used to tell folks I was a terrible Green Beret because I spent my whole time in a SIF. I was a terrible Green Beret. If you think about it, that's not what we were supposed to be doing.
No.
You shouldn't be scared of the Green Berets. You should be scared of the battalion of folks he's trained to stand behind him.
That's the kicker. That's how you earn. It's like the ones that we trained in where the hell were Sudan, right? Our battalion of guys that we trained, right, had a great time. I loved it. It was great. You navigated by rocks, literally the 1,200 foot chunk of rock. The next one was like 18K that way. You just went that way till you seen the rock,
right?
And then you went, that's the way you navigate. That's the way they tell you. So, but anyway, they ended up overthrowing the dang government.
While you were there?
6 months later. No, 6 months later. Yeah, because they tried to get us to come. They want the same team back again. But of course they wanted U.S. weapons, and the U.S. was like, I don't think so. So then, as we were the second people that went in, as they were leaving, they were watching Spetsnaz coming in. Which is it's kind of funny. Same people don't realize it's almost identical. They're there to train.
Mm-hmm. I can remember in the mid 90s, we were in not Somalia,
Haiti,
Eritrea, and
Eritrea,
Ethiopia. Eritrea and Ethiopia. And, Eritrea seceded from Ethiopia and took their navy because Ethiopia is landlocked. Yep. And so they took their navy. But we were in Ethiopia and Eritrea at the same time teaching these two opposing countries at a border raids, ambushes, and recons. And, to their officers.
Wind them up and let them go.
Yes, and we were wound up both sides, let them go at it. And then against each other conducting raids, ambushes, and recons,
That's got to be hilarious. See, all of a sudden you see the little green flashes as you do Morse code across the border. Yeah, we did that in Somalia. It was that we got sent. We got in a little bit of trouble, so we got sent on the mysterious city of Tingadud, the lost city of Tingadud. What said it on the map? It wasn't that. There ain't nothing there but 2 huts. Right. We found it. All right, no roads going to it, but we found it. So we're like, all right, this was okay. This was a 2-day wasted. We'll head to the beach. So we started getting way in the dark. So it's like, go in the thorn bushes. We'll crash for the night and then take off in the morning. So we go there, and all of a sudden we hear a vehicle coming, and we're like, You gotta be shit. Really? I don't want to fight tonight. I'm too lazy. Just open up an MRE, getting ready to eat, and your vehicle coming. Great. So you got to put all the shit down. Now it's getting all dirty. And you're watching it come, and all of a sudden you're just watching. It's dark. It's blacked out. And every now and then you see a little glint, and it's like, what the hell? That's a freaking dumber. And we're looking at it like this, and all of a sudden we see the guy come up on top of the 50, and we're watching him scan. Well, as soon as he scanned this way, on your PVS 7, you just click.
Yeah.
You click it, and it flashes green. And all of a sudden you see him, oh! He's looking like that, and tick, tick, tick. Hit him 3 flashes, and then all of a sudden you get 3 flashes back. Then you go to the combo guy, who was Scott Fagan. And they go, hey, get him on the radio. Go to good combo guy. You have your normal freak to talk with your company, and then you got the team's freak, because all the team let each other know what's really happening, that you don't want to broadcast over everything. So I say, hey, get him up on a team freak. See who this is. Hey, where are you guys supposed to be at? Where are you supposed to be at? And it's like, is that you guys? Yeah. Well, what are you doing way to the west? You're not to the west. You're to the east. He goes, what do you mean? Yeah, this is where we're at, right? And he goes, holy shit. And then third team sergeant, who I won't mention because I'd like to choke him out. But anyways, they had the wrong coordinates. Mm-hmm. They were lost. They just pulled over.
Like last year's Easter egg.
Yep. And we're like, you got to be kidding me. So I said, hey, I said, tell them 5 o'clock in the morning, come on over. So Chuck was the one guy's name. So he come out over in the morning. We give, hey, this is where we're at, man. This is Tingadootsy here on the map. You guys are supposed to be way over here. He's like, that son of a bitch. So he ended up getting back on, getting pointed the right way the next morning, and we're sitting back there going, you have got to be kidding me. Yeah, it's just weird stuff like that. But fun and games, man. I loved it.
Sweet.
It was fun.
You've been working with Rob quite a bit, too. Mm-hmm. Probably, last 3 years?
Yeah, 2 to 3 years. Yeah, Rob Dwayne.
3 years. Rob Dwayne. On
Healing Flames Forge.
Healing Flame. And we'll get him on here, too. And when we get him on here, we'll bring you on also, just so we can bullshit a little more. But he's got his nonprofit.
We can gang up on him. That's fun.
Yeah. And or we could just call him up if we had to. We can call him and get him on here. But we'll bring him in here. And hell, he lives in my old house.
Yeah, that's right, just right down the road.
Just right down the road.
Thought that was kind of funny too when he said, "Yeah, do you know who used to live here?" And I'm like, "No, this is Byron and Missy. Byron and Missy at the gun shop. They used to live here." He goes, "Yeah." He said, "They're good friends of mine. They're out here." And I went, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, Rob and I were on the same team in the early mid '90s. We're on 516 together.
Ah, okay, cool.
We'll get him in here. Healing Flames, I guess, it's a nice, you work with those guys too.
Yeah.
Rob's not much of a knife maker, so it's good that you two kind of help those veterans.
Did different forges, like we did country music singer L.V. Shane. Mm-hmm. Came out there, we did a whole thing with him. I ended up finishing a knife in my shop, but we did everything there in Rob's shop. But it's healingflames.org.
Yes.
Excuse me. And that's where you can check it out. But it's free. Any veteran, families of veterans.
They just sign up. I guess there's a calendar or something they can sign up for.
Yeah, they sign up for Saturdays or Sundays. Because usually most people got a normal job during the week. Ain't like us where we can screw off all week. But, yeah.
All facts.
Yeah. And then, but I think he's taken off. But there's always, he's got the other two guys, Vinny and Jim. Vinny and Jim, they can run classes. So it's just, if you got the time on the weekend, you can bring it. But it's a good time for father and son. We've had father and son, father and daughter, husband and wife.
Oh, it's in there banging on steel.
And banging on
hot steel the whole time.
And if you got a lot of friends, it's made for guys that are having, a little bit of issues, maybe a little bit of PTSD going on or something, but you're around military guys. So usually if you're around another military guy, you can kind of just take a breath and relax a little bit and concentrate on not burning yourself. And you know, and then you start talking about stupid shit in the military, and you have a good time. So they forget their stuff for a while, and it's excellent. It's fun to do, you know, and plus it doesn't cost them nothing. You drive out there and it's there.
It's in Woodlawn, Tennessee. Yeah, here in Woodlawn. Have you had a civilian job yet since you got out?
Since I got out,
Yeah,
I've had 3 of
or
them.
worked with civilians at all?
Yeah,
I
Didn't
find
like
that,
it.
I find that hard to do.
Didn't like it at all.
You know, you brought
at
up
all.
getting with other military folks. I find it hard to work with civilians sometimes, especially in the corporate world. They just don't seem as efficient as they could be.
They do as little as possible
Yes.
to get a paycheck. And for as like myself coming in, like when I used to work for Print Excel here, I'd run a 24-inch printer. I'm mechanically inclined. I learned printer like 2 days. I'm running by myself. Everybody's standing back going, damn, it took me 6 months. And I'm thinking, wait, that's because you're an idiot.
Right.
Right? But you get going like that, well, the management notices it right away. Self-starter, you're figuring stuff out on your own, whereas the other guy that's just running just enough to make quota, that's it. And I'm like, well, shit, everybody's running at 40%. It goes up to 100%. Let's see what happens. See how many things I blow up and crank it up to 100%.
Right.
But then when you start working like that, it's almost like you'd have level 4 on your back because everybody's looking at you like, wait a minute now. Then the supervisors notice it. Then the supervisor said, well, look, I want to go bass fishing. Can you Can you supervise for 2 hours until the next guy comes over? Now, that guy that's been running the other machine for 30 years, now you're over him. Well, what do you think happens there? It's like, yeah, so everybody's they nitpick you from the bottom.
You know, it's little things. You know, you'll be in a meeting, you know, and on like a Monday, and they'll say, "Okay, Byron, I need this document, you know, no later than COB Friday or whatever." And, you know, I'll knock that shit out right there 30 minutes after the meeting, and I'll put it in their inbox or something like that, right? Then Friday, this literally happened. Then Friday rolls around, and they're like, "Hey, how come I didn't get this document?" I was like, "Have you checked your inbox since Monday?"
Nope.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I was like, it was in there 30 minutes after we had this meeting.
They were expecting that last minute.
Yeah, and you know, we're always that way. And the civilian world really, I had a hard time adapting to that.
It's hard when you come from a special operations background, especially during our time. I mean, we're the top 1%, right, of the military, and all the training that we've had was always you push and you push and you push. Nothing gets in your way. You find a way around it. Just go.
Right.
Just do
Find
it.
a way to say yes.
Get the measure.
Don't say no. I can't do that. I'll find a way to say yes.
Get the
and
mission.
We'll make it happen.
I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do because that way you got plausible denial. But I will finish the job, right? And when you get to that point, and then when you step into the civilian thing where they're just there to do a job. They don't care about what they do. They don't care about quality. They don't care about being on time. It's excuse after excuse, and that just irritates the hell out of you. And then, of course, you're usually just starting, so you can't say nothing.
Right.
Because either that, then you got 30 guys looking at you wanting to, you know, they don't want to kick your ass. They might want to, but ain't nobody going to do it.
Right.
A few times you say, oh, you got a problem? Let's go outside in the parking lot. We'll handle this. It'll be done. No takers, you know. And I'm too old, you know, but it's just, they don't understand. That's just like all the doom and gloomers. Oh, when the world's going to end and all this other stuff. It's like, you'll be begging to follow me. But you don't understand the people that know how to deal with that stuff. They're not going to take the slackers.
Oh yeah.
You'd be like a thorn in my side.
I get a lot of folks that will tell me, hey, when the shit hits the fan, I'm coming to your place. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Right?
What are you bringing to the table?
Exactly.
What I mean? And what have you brought to the table so far?
Nothing.
So, no, you're not. Find another place.
You'll get the first round. I can guarantee that. And that's where, like, a couple of my friends, they're set up. They're like, yeah, well, if it breaks off, if I can make it across the bridge, you make it here because you'll be one of the few people because we know what you bring.
Right.
We know your truck will be loaded with ammo and food. weapons. So you can, come on. But anybody else, if you don't have at least a little bit of knowledge or something, that's why any class you can take it. It always comes back. It'll never be bad for you. It's always good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if it ever comes down to that, it'll be, we'll be the strong. And what you don't understand is that if we link up afterwards or whenever it happens, we happen to notice each other, now you got two of us to deal with. Mm-hmm. Two guys from group. And
yes,
all of a sudden you got
and
three.
We are trained, and they picked us because we build communities. We were trained to build communities. That's what we do.
Look at down south.
Exactly.
South America. They got whole compounds
right.
full of
their families are all in there, and they have built a community that's really, really strong, and we do that.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
The druggies don't mess with them at all.
We have we call them Mexican Americans.
Yeah.
We used to call meth heads in the day. Now we call them Mexican Americans. We have them all over here in Indian Mound.
I like that.
And we shoot a lot here. Not to shoot a lot, but just to remind everybody that's in the area that, by the way, we do shoot a lot here.
Don't come on. You don't need to be coming through the woods because
that's right.
The range might be open.
It might be open.
It might be open. You just never know.
You don't want to catch me in a bad time.
Well, it keeps them, hopefully it keeps the idiots away. Mm-hmm. That's what you want to know. This is an active range. This is stuff like this. And then not to mess around.
A little bit of passive security, I call it. That kind of thing. Let them know that. I'll avoid it. Make ourselves a hard target. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
That way, well, you know what? We've heard them guys shoot an awful lot and fully automatic fire. It's like, I don't think we're gonna go hit the farmer down the road.
Yeah, let's go somewhere else. And the good thing is we have, I think it's 3 of us along this gravel road from here. Remember, you probably remember the range, Rattlesnake Ridge.
Yeah.
Yep. On this road, we have like 3 SF guys, retired SF guys on this gravel road.
Oh, really?
Right here.
Cool.
And we could easily block this community off.
And
say, we're on our own. We got it.
Yep. Block the road, and that's it. They can't get around it. That's why you always keep that one big log situated right there.
Or just leave that big tree.
Or cut it, and drop it over the tree. Yep. Oh, I've heard that. Well, that's like the old farmers when, 4813 on the bridge? Mm-hmm. That's right there. The old farmers talking with them at the co-op. Oh, they already got a plan to block the road. And I'm like,
they got a plan.
I like you guys. Well, the one guy was in World War II. The other 2, they were older guys. They were there in the start of Vietnam. So when you listen to them talk, it's just like, I love you guys. You guys are so cool. So it's kind of neat to watch how people process it. Mm-hmm. And other people ain't got a clue.
No. I always say this to a
friend. They panic when they go to Walmart. They have an anxiety attack and stuff like this. Like people, like I taught my daughters, when you come out of Walmart, them eyes are up and you're scanning that parking lot. Because
instead of here like this, walking through the
parking lot while looking at you. What the heck? And I browbeat that into my wife, the kids, everything. Keep your eyes look. Mm-hmm. See something that don't look right, go back in the store.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Go back in the store and watch.
On my simulator, I have a shooting simulator I train folks on, and I coached that and preached that during that time frame.
Yeah. If you're not trained to use a weapon,
just
go
somewhere else.
Store.
Stay in your car and go somewhere else to get gas.
There's a lot of places I don't go into because all I got is 15 rounds, 16 rounds in my pistol. That ain't enough ammo. So I gotta make it back to the truck to get the long gun, right? So I just stay away from that. And
yes, you're not carrying enough rounds.
I stay on the outskirts. Yeah, see.
Let's leave it there. Those are just spares. Plus, it equals me out when I'm.
Yeah, you're not leaning like this.
It equals me out.
It's like the one time I tried to wear my Desert Eagle on my hip. Don't do it.
I used to carry my Glock 21 on my hip, and it would weigh me down quite a bit as a heavy gun. And then I just put spare mags.
But you put 3 mags on this side. Yeah. My P14, same way. I got to carry 2 mags on this side so you walk straight.
You only get that kind of just through experience. Yeah. You learn that kind of stuff.
And like the 2011 I just got now. I'm not used to carrying. 9 mils was always single stack until Glock started. But even that, you still got to equal out.
Right.
Especially you talk 45s now. You got to equal.
Yeah, don't take a lot of those rounds.
No, 10 mil or anything like that.
I think my 21 carries, 15 or 16 45 rounds with the extended thingy on it. And then it was so heavy.
Hey, the 25 rounders work
Little
good. They
sticks.
work good in them.
Sticking out of my shirt about this
I don't
far.
know how you carry them, though. I ain't figured that out. I guess over your back shoulder or something.
Like a sword?
I'll have to make something up for it. Hey, it came with the gun. You know? And yes, I do trade guns for knives.
Oh, do you?
All day long.
Okay, as long as it's a good gun. You know,
Yeah, I don't.
you don't know high point coming in there. You can turn a high point into a knife. Maybe
Yeah,
that's something you
actually,
should
the
do.
barrel I can do.
Yeah, you could just.
Because you got to figure, I made Damascus from 45 barrels, AR barrels, 50 cal barrels, which I still think I got 9 of them. The hardest one was the barrel off of Apache, the 30 millimeter. I don't know what they made that shit out of it. The forge, yeah, it was tough.
It's hard.
It was tough.
Well,
it just don't
being a
it
chain gun, you know, and that
doesn't
thing-
want to move.
Yeah,
It was like a D6 C2 or something. Way off of the charts. It took me like a half a day to find out what they were actually made out of. Because usually most barrels are made out of 4140. Same thing, axles. Same thing. It's but that stuff, trying to cut it, yeah, it wasn't fun.
So I have this piece of metal. This is actually from an artillery round. This is what it looks like when it goes
Shrapnel.
off. It uses a shape charge to cut this, right? And this is what's flying through the air. It's like a knife flying through the air. Maybe can you make a dagger out of that or something? You think?
The best thing to do with it when you got shrapnel, because odds are it's kind of like just regular mild steel or pot metal. It's usually not hardened. So usually what you do on stuff like this is you cut it up and put it in a can.
To add to the
You either put it in a can, and then you make the Damascus, and then you take 2 pieces of that Damascus, put a piece of high carbon steel in the middle, and sandwich it, because you don't want this on the edge. Because if it won't take a heat treat.
right.
So
Well, maybe I'll just keep it as a sous vide like it is. You know what I mean? Because it's a conversation piece as is.
that's just cool.
Yeah, found that on right outside Suckjohn
Ah,
on the ground. I was like, what the? And then I realized what it was.
that's right from old 155.
So this is
Or 105.
This is what's flying through the air when that round goes off, and this is you'd be surprised how sharp these edges are right now. This going through your body.
No. You got to figure all this stuff. And I got, like that little piece right there, I got 4 of them stuck in me, and that hurt they were like, well, it'll come out by itself.
Right.
It's been a long time, and guess what?
It's not worked its way out.
It ain't worked its way out yet. So, and they're just like, well, it's too close to that, and I'm okay. So every time you go in for, what do you stick in the tube MRI? The big electronic, they do got any.
Yeah, dude.
Look at my chart. See that big red circle? So I got to go through with my arms up like this. Then I start snoring. Yeah. They don't like that. Let me sleep. I'm not
You're
moving.
making that damn noise again.
Yeah,
Somebody go in there and wake him up.
Yep. Grab his feet, shake his feet. Hey, you're snoring. What? It's an electronic thing. What does that have anything to do with me? Whether I'm sleeping,
Sleeping or
snoring,
not,
wide
right?
awake. It's the same. And still can't get one to answer me that. That's cool.
What else we got, Dylan? What else are we supposed to cover?
I think that's pretty much it.
Do you?
Got some good bullshitting in.
What's our time on there right now, anyway?
59 minutes.
Oh, that's almost dead on. Dead
Oh,
on.
see?
1 hour.
Old
That's what I was-
school.
That's what
It's like,
we didn't
boy,
need a timer or nothing.
Man,
We
it
just-
feels like it's been about an hour
We've
already.
just been
Jeez.
bullshitting about nothing, which is I really like. It's kind of like Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's kind of like old school homework or old school meeting. Yeah, hey, how you doing,
Yeah,
man?
it's bullshitting. So now what we'll do is do it again, but we'll bring Rob in and we can talk more about it.
Yeah.
And the setup is the exact same, and we'll just bring him in and we can talk more about healing flames. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
any
and-
stories he has, which will really stretch us out past an hour.
That's because he talks slow. Oh, little story, big story. I love him
He's
to
good
death,
at it, though. Love him to death. He's good at it.
Oh, yeah. It was like when he beat that one Damascus knife out, he come out by me. Well, this is what I got. And it was blade about that wide, and my grind line goes all the way up at the top. So it's sharp edge. Well, his grind line stopped like about a quarter of an inch.
So
And
it's
I'm
like a
like, what
blunt.
the-
It's like a spoon.
yeah, basically. And I'm like, nah, give me the knife. So I showed him, and he goes, nah, here, you do it. 3 minutes later, I go, here, it's done.
You just say, here, just give me that thing.
He's like, I'd just rough them out and let you grind them. I said, come on, Dan, that's half the fun. But I'm surprised Vinny's been doing real good.
That's his helper in there.
Yeah, he comes out there and helps him. And I think he's from the 101st. I think he spent time in the 101st. And no, he's not. I don't think he's special at Spec Ops.
Right.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, Army guy, like that was one of the big things that grew up. Everybody thinks, oh, you guys turn your nose up. I tell you what, I was kissing my mechanic's ass in Somalia.
People don't realize that.
I like
those support guys
love
get
my
a
support
lot
guys.
of praise from us because they do the yeoman's work sometimes for us, more times than not.
Hey, I don't want to walk with that 100-some-odd pound rucksack. Screw that shit.
Exactly.
Fix my vehicle so we can drive there, and we got a couple hours left over for the beach. If we walk, you ain't gonna like me too much. And I've never treated support bad.
Yeah.
Never. It might give some shit to the riggers, but that's beside the point. But otherwise, your commo support, all the others.
We're all one big team.
We need them.
Yes.
I have to.
Yes. Facts.
I got too much shit over here. I don't have time to figure out that part of it. I just need to know. Okay, I know how to drive it. I know how to put fuel into it, maintain it. I don't want to learn how to fix it. It's like me with guns. I know a bunch of guys that work on guns. Everybody says, "Oh, you've been in a group. You know how to build guns." No, I don't. I know how to.
They all assume that, Ralph.
I know how to utilize them very effectively, but I draw the line right there. I know how to do this on off and this. That's it. That's all they do.
So, are you going to hunt today?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, if not,
I'm gonna
I'll just go out there and look and see.
I'm going to set you up across the creek in a little ladder stand down there. Is that okay?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Or you can hunt from this window right here.
Or I was going to roll down the road too. I could do that.
You can hunt from here if you want
Okay.
to. I'm not hunting here today. I'm not doing anything. Or I spin that table around and I just look out that window right there.
All right. I'm a
Not in the
lazy
camera.
ass, but I'm not that lazy.
Well, it's not lazy. It's efficient. Because now I can actually do work.
Yeah. All I got to
and
do is
look out the window.
turn the truck, and I got right out there.
This is much better. It's air conditioned heat. You can watch YouTube.
No, I'm good. See, I just don't get into YouTube. Well, except for you guys. You guys all. I got to figure out how to get you. Make sure and send me when you push this.
Oh yeah, you'll find us on Greybeard Syndicate, and that's where you find these at. And if you're watching this,
So
you're
go on
probably already
YouTube
there.
and go and type in Greybeard, and it should show up.
Yep, Greybeard, and if anything, it'll say Greybeard Syndicate.
Yeah.
We also put this on a podcast. What is it on a podcast? What do we do this on?
Spotify.
Spotify. Thank you very much.
And then the Black Armor Guns channel has some stuff.
Yeah,
too.
Black Armor Guns has some channels too, but we've shifted pretty much everything to
Yeah.
Now you,
Greybeard Syndicate.
know what Arabic sounds like. That's what it sounded like, because that made no fucking sense to me whatsoever. Spotify, what the hell?
It's a little podcast
Yeah,
thing that you can listen in your vehicle while you're driving. You can listen to the same stuff on that.
Cool. Well, I want to see the faces, man.
Yeah, that too. Except while you're driving.
Yeah. That's why I was having fun watching you guys interact on your last one.
Right.
That was funny.
Oh, at the
SOF
trade show, yeah.
Yeah. That was enjoyable.
Doc's wife told us, she said she looked at it for 5 minutes. She goes, "You three have ADD, all three of you, because you're all three speaking over each other and talking and bullshitting the whole time."
Different things.
Yes,
All three
and
different
just
subjects
let
at the
it go.
same time.
And we got through it, right?
Well, I like it when the people come on up and talk. Oh, yeah, that's a good AR. Well, I got a lever action 30-30. And I'm like, what the heck? That ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. Or the one guy that, he, wanted to trade me this rifle. And
Yeah.
Chris is in the background. That looks like a Savage. Is that a Savage? That looks like a lightweight one. Is that a Walmart gun? He's back there, and I'm giggling, just going, I know that. Mm-hmm.
Then some guy showed up with a big Russian hat, whatever those things are called.
Yeah, fur hat.
Yeah, he had a big fur hat and made out of mink. Mm-hmm. And Doc's like, "Oh, let me feel that." And it's like, "Oh, that's real. It was huge too. Remember the movie Spies Like Us?
Spies Like Us. Yep.
Right there.
Classic movie.
Classic.
Look at it. Find it. Watch it.
Yes, that is some TTP stuff right there.
Just because you never know who they are. You really know them.
Right when you least expect it.
That's funny. That's a good shot, God.
So, all right. Well,
Cool.
We're going to let you go hunt, and I'm going to get this up and going. Dylan, is there anything we missed today?
I think that was it.
Yep.
All right. So,
And I do hunt with a 6.8 SPC, period. That's it. Best round.
and again, we find you at Kim, Kimbered 1911 on Instagram.
On Instagram, Kim Breed
You have all your
1911.
videos and pictures on there. You get to see all these cool. Is this knife on there?
Yeah, way in the down.
All right. Well,
you
everybody
got to
should
search
look at
for
all
that
of them, because if you want a certain knife, look at all his videos and say, "Hey, I want this knife," and
Mix and match, handle material, blade material.
Take a screenshot of the video or something and send it to him. Is there a way to contact you other than that? Other than the
You
Instagram?
can use my phone.
Is it your number on there?
Yeah, my number's on the card. It ain't on there, but if you want, it's 931-980-4956.
All right. Well, that's too easy then.
Yeah.
Kim Breed.
And
be prepared to just some smart ass guy to answer the phone.
yeah, if your number shows up blank, don't be surprised if I start speaking Arabic. Oh, side note, if you get all them telemarketers calls when you can hear it in the background when they do it, start speaking in Arabic. They hang up every time. Don't speak Russian, because I had the lady had a Russian speaker there.
Oh, did she?
And I had to switch over to Arabic right away, and then they hung up. So speak Arabic. They don't like it.
Yeah. Start saying hello, and then hey, start
Go,
talking.
hello.
Have somebody talking.
Hello?
Have
Hello?
somebody talking in the background about explosives and stuff like that.
Salam alaikum, kayf halak al-yawm? And click. That's what you hear. Click. Then you just block them.
Waste their time. Waste their time. That's the way to do it.
I know.
All right. Well, Kim,
Y'all have a.
thank you much, brother.
Oh, brother, anytime.
And let's go kill a deer. We'll let you go kill a deer. Cool.
We'll see.
All right. See you guys.
We're out.